Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Jared from 3C's Recreation. Today we're installing radiator braces on our 2023 Beta cross trainer. It's already next bike up. Last week we just did the Northeast 24-hour challenge where we raced our Beta 125s. Check out our channel, some really cool videos on that whole race. Very proud of my pro riders. We had a team of 4 guys. They shared 2 Beta 125s and they took second out of 178 teams. We got one of those cool big checks for $1,000. So I gave all 4 of those riders $250 a piece. They got them to keep the money, which is cool. So today what we're doing is, because Enduro Engineering helped us out with that, very thankful for the support. Their product worked great. We had 0 issues over the course of those 24 hours on those 2 bikes. And so we're gonna use Enduro Engineering stuff for the Tennessee Knockout. That's coming up next month. And this bike is way ahead of schedule, at least for me. Everything kind of always seems to be last minute. And so this bike, by the end of the weekend, should be ready for Mark to practice on for at least 2 weeks. So that's really cool. He's gonna get some ride time. And so these are the Enduro Engineering radiator braces. They're really easy to install. If you come in, I'll show you what we've got done to the bike so far. So a lot of stuff has already been done. Hand guards, we're gonna run a number plate. And the first thing Enduro Engineering wants you to do is to remove your shrouds, and then it lets you take the gas tank off out of the way. You do not need to remove the gas tank. I did because we've been working on wire harness stuff. But if you just simply removed your shroud off the side of the tank, that would give you all the access you need. You do not need to drain your coolant like we did. We just installed the CMCO hose kit, so that's why ours is all apart. So if you're in your garage at home and you want to do this project, you do not have to drain your coolant. It's all just a front mount. So we just did the left-hand side, and we're going to do the right-hand side next. So if you're at home, you take that shroud off, the next thing you're gonna do, I'll just turn this a little bit, is you're just gonna pop your louver out of the way, and that's gonna give us access to the 2 mounting bolts for the radiator. So let's get these out of the way and we'll go from there. So this is everything that we need to do that right-hand radiator. We've got the inside bracket, the outside bracket, the front guard, and then the 10 bolts that go with it. Everything is either a 4mm hex head or it is just an 8mm socket. So I like to have a longer extension so we can get in without actually scraping my knuckles on the radiator. So the first bracket we're going to install is the long skinny one on the inside of the radiator. This bracket is universal from left hand to right hand side, so you can't do this step wrong. The only thing we have to make sure is that we leave our bolt holes on the outside for the guard to bolt into. We cannot install it this way, it'd be backwards. So we want to make sure our guard is facing out, and it's just the 8mm bolts that they give you. They're identical. You kind of slide it in there. This is where I like that extension to come into play. I just kind of start it in. I always start these by hand because you never want to cross thread this into the frame. It doesn't end well. So if you're using a power tool, you could zing that in sideways in a hurry, and it's not a good thing. So what we're going to do next, now that both bolts are started and we're happy with it, we're going to tighten this one down on the inside. Now that we completed the inside, we can go to the outside bracket. This one is specific to the side. This is the right-hand side. It's got the R on there, and the left-hand side would have an L for the left-hand side. But once you hold it up, you have a pretty good idea of why. So these are going to get screwed in from the inside of the radiator here. So we're going to hold it up. And the reason why it's maybe a little more obvious is this blank spot here is where our shroud is going to push back in and bolt back in there. So they give us 2 different length bolts in this kit, and we'll show this here. You can see the 2 different lengths there, one's shorter, one's bigger. And the reason for the difference in length is the upper one can be longer because it has more material to thread into, where the lower one kind of falls right in the plane of where your shroud comes in. So the bolt can't be as long. So it's going to be shorter on the bottom. And in their directions, they don't really say that. It just says use the 2 bolts in the kit. And I figured that out. I put the longer one on the bottom and it stuck out. So we don't want to do that. We want to use the longer ones on the top. All right, so the last piece is very simple. We're just going to put our guard on the front. And this one is a left or right as well. You can see that this is notched out. And again, that's notched out because when it sits up here, that's where our shroud is going to get bolted in, and it leaves the room there for that. So this is really simple. There's 6 of the same length bolt. They're all that 4mm hex head. You just kind of get all of them all kind of lined up. And we're just going to snug all these down. All right, guys, thank you so much for following along. That was a really simple install video, probably one of the simpler ones we've done. So thanks to Enduro Engineering for the radiator braces. Keep in mind, it does work with a cooling fan kit. We do get a lot of calls, so you guys are all set there. Also, we're very excited about this bike. We've done a lot of other videos building this thing up, so check out our channel and scroll down. In 4 weeks, we'll be heading to the Tennessee Knockout with Mark Fortner. Really excited about that. He's made the main event down there before against stacked fields, and I hope we can do it again. So keep an eye on our channel, and we'll see you soon.